Hi everyone and welcome to Squirrel Pie Productions. My name is Tommi. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as DynamiteTrujillo. Welcome to episode 102, I think? I'm pretty sure. I'm not positive though. Thank you so much for being here. If you're a new viewer, welcome. And if you are a returning viewer, a big welcome back. Today is a cloudy and overcast and cool Friday in July here on the Northern California coast where I'm coming to you from. There are show notes for this episode in the description box below, so check that out if I talk about anything you're interested in pursuing from here. Hi. Is that all I say? I skipped a couple weeks. My crafting mojo has taken a serious downturn this summer. So it's been a while. I do have some stuff to show, but it's been slow in knitting and crochet land here in the Trujillo household. But I have some fun stuff to show, so let's get on with it. I am wearing a hand knit item. I'm wearing my Like a Cloud cardigan by Joji Locatelli. And I love this cardigan very, very much. It's knit out of two lace weight yarns held together. One I used Madeline Tosh and Rowan, two different lace weights, and it's beautiful. I love it. It's a drop shoulder cardigan. Okay. Let's move on to announcements. There is a pretty exciting announcement. Higa Canyon, who is Kim, and she is a fantastic designer, she is releasing a pair of socks that she designed in my yarn, Moonstone Dyeworks, so that's really exciting. It's being released today. They are the Improbability socks and they are beautiful. It's a sock that has a cable running down one side and I love it so much. I definitely think you should check it out if you're interested in cabled socks. They're beautiful. And she used for her sample my Death of a Star colorway, which was one of the colorways that was in my Cosmos yarn club. The only yarn club I've ever done. I did a Cosmos yarn club and it was one of the 3 skeins available in that yarn club. And in celebration of this new pattern being released, I am releasing that colorway to the public. So I will talk a little more about that later. But yeah, in the meantime, I will link to the pattern below and I'm really excited. They're beautiful socks and I'm so honored that she used my yarn for the sample. Thank you, Kim. Okay, go check them out. Okay, let's move on to my finished objects. I do have a couple finished objects. I think almost everything I'm working on this episode is for my daughter Lucy, which is very interesting for me. Usually I knit tons of stuff for myself and no one else, but I don't know, that's been part of my downturn in mojo is I kind of don't want anything right now, probably because it's summer, I don't know. But I've knit a couple things for Lucy. So the first finished object I have is a pair of socks. And they're teeny and pretty cute. So this is Sweet Georgia yarn. I think it is. It's the Tough Love sock in the Strawberry Picking colorway. Strawberry Picking Season colorway. Yeah, it's a fingering weight top down sock. I did 2x2 ribbing for the cuff. I cast on 48 stitches. Yes, I cast on 48 stitches. I did a fish lips kiss heel, which is not typical for me, but I wanted to try something different for Lucy. The fish lips kiss heel is a short row heel, and it's not something I ever use for myself just because I don't like the way it fits my foot, but it seems to fit her foot pretty good. And I like that it isn't so like structured around her ankle, because that's what I like in a heel is I like something really like solid and structured around my ankle. I usually do the heel flap and gusset for myself, but I like that hers isn't so like this. I like that it can be a little more flowy with her foot. I don't know what I'm talking about. These description words do not make any sense. But I thought a fish lips kiss heel would be good for her. Plus I really enjoy knitting it. I really like making a fish lips kiss heel, so that was fun. And it's just got a regular old wedge toe. Don't know what that is. It's probably my end sticking out. What are you gonna do? Yeah, plain stockinette. It did this cool pooling thing. It's one of these yarns where it's like it could do a whole bunch of different things depending on what your gauge is, and this is what it did for this gauge, and I like it. So yeah, pair of socks. I knit these on a size 1 needle, 48 stitches. She's 2 years old, for reference. And they're definitely big. They're too big for her right now. But I wanted that, for one, because then she can grow into them, and for two, she seems right now to be really interested in putting on socks that are too big for her. I think she thinks it's fun, so I made her her very own too big socks. And that is them. My next finished object is also for Lucy, and it's really exciting. It's a really big one. It is my very first ever finished granny stripe blanket. Now, it's not my, like, fingering weight scrappy granny stripe blanket, which I do have on the hook. This is another one that I started for her after I started my initial one. And this is a DK weight granny stripe blanket. And what I did with this one is I used the tutorial by Bella Coco on YouTube. I'll link to it in the show notes. And I followed her instructions for her sample that she used on the video. So I used DK weight yarn, and I cast on or chained on, I'm still not sure which it is, the same number of stitches that she instructs you to, or that she does. So it's pretty much like a kid-sized blanket. So I used all Moonstone Dyeworks yarn in the Merino DK base, which is 100% superwash merino. And I just did one full skein of a different colorway. Each of these blocks is just one full skein of yarn. So it's done. I'm so excited that it's done. And kind of the idea is that I wanted to use all like pinks and purples and like kind of browns and stuff. So most of these are one full skein, but some of these smaller stripes are like leftovers. And let's see, let's test myself in my Moonstone Dyeworks knowledge. See if I can tell you what colorways each of these are. This one is chiffon. This one is stardust. This one is belladonna. This one is graveyard. This is decaying opulence. This is this graveyard? No. Oh, this was my Christmas colorway. I don't remember what this is. I think this is a holiday colorway, like one of the holidays. I don't know which holiday. Do you know what this colorway is? I forgot. But I think I've only dyed it a few times. This is Heartstrings, and this is a new colorway that I dyed specifically to finish off this blanket. I wanted like a real pop of pink, so I made up this colorway to go at the end of this blanket, and I never gave it a name. I keep doing that. Maybe I'll come up with a name by the shop update segment. So this is a pink one, and then this is Tendril, and this is a little bit left over from my Ursa pullover. So that's it. I did just straight up stripes all the way through. I can't tell you, I can't use terminology because I don't know it. I don't even want to try to make something up because it could very well be wrong, but it's just stripes of crochets. And like I said, I followed that tutorial, so I followed it exactly. And it's a really nice size. I like it a lot. Like, it's kind of like I said, it's like a kid's blanket size, so it's kind of like something that would like fit on a, what's the kid's size bed? Like a twin bed or something? I don't know. But this is Lucy's new blanket. It's really nice and soft and squishy, and I love it so much. I have not put a border on it. I actually just finished it last night, and I wove in the ends this morning, and I haven't blocked it yet. But I've decided that for now it's done. I think I might want to go back at some point and add a border, and I'm not sure what kind of border. Probably something really simple, but I think that might be a nice kind of finishing element. I think it might make it look really like kind of pulled together. But I'm not going to worry about it right now. We're going to use it for a while and see how it goes, and then maybe at some point I'll pick another color of this yarn and do a border. Maybe something contrasting. I don't know. So in terms of changing yarns, as you may have gathered from my lack of knowledge about terminology, I'm a very low-level crocheter. Like, I don't know much about what I'm doing, so I'm not sure what the standard is for changing colors in crochet. But what I did is every time I came to the end of a skein, I would leave about that much of a tail. I would just crochet until I had that much left, and then I would take my new skein, my new color, and I would crochet the next two. So I would crochet one. There's 3 of these bars here. Is that a treble? I don't know. I would crochet one in my last color, and then I would pick up the new color, and with the yarn held double, I would crochet the next 2, and then drop the old one, and continue on with the new one single. So I'm essentially like crocheting 2 strands together to kind of weave in my ends as I go. And then on the way back, I would do the same thing with the other end that I hadn't already done that with, because you have 2 ends when you attach new yarn. Does that make sense? I don't know. But that's what I did, and that way when I was done, I could just go through and kind of snip off all the ends rather than actually weaving them in. I did kind of weave some in here and there just because I was paranoid. But yeah, it was really simple like that, and hopefully it holds up. We'll see. So this is my blanket. I'm going to wash it and let it dry and give it to Lucy and see if she likes it. She's pretty into blankets right now. She's discovering forts these days. So. Yeah. Squirrel really likes this blanket. Squirrel is my cat. So they can fight over it. Those are my 2 finished objects, and I'm very excited to have that blanket done. That's one of my big old whips. That is done. Moving on to whips, my first work in progress is a pair of socks. This is the Artist Garden Socks by Tiff Nealon, and I am to the point where I'm in the middle of the heel flap. So this pattern is a top-down sock. It's mostly stockinette up at the top, and there's some texture on the foot, and it's marled. So it calls for a bunch of different yarns, like scraps or minis or whatever, and you change colors throughout the sock, so you have a whole bunch of different marled colors. It's 2 yarns held together. Man, I'm all over the place. It's 2 fingering weight. It calls for 2 fingering weight yarns held together, and you use 2 different colorways and you marl them. So this is what I have so far. I love how it's turning out. I'm using a lot of old minis that I got in mini swaps that they tended, when I was done, I noticed they all kind of happened to be greenish. So that's kind of cool, because I don't typically go for like the greens, but most of them are greens. I'm using a size US 2 needle. The pattern calls for a much bigger needle than that. I don't know, I think it calls for a 4 or a 5 or something, maybe even a 6, I don't know. But I went down to a 2, and that I think was a dumb decision. The last time I made DK weight socks with just DK weight yarn, I used a 3, and I felt like it was way too loose, and I didn't like the fabric. I wanted it tighter next time. So since I was doing 2 fingering weight yarns held together here, I figured that was about the same-ish weight, so I went down to a 2, and it's pretty bulletproof. Like, it's, I don't know, it's pretty stiff, it's pretty dense. I considered ripping them out and restarting them on a 3, but I don't think I'm going to. I've tried them on and they feel really good. I think the finished thing is going to be really nice. It's just a little hard on my hands to knit, but it's not a huge deal. Plus these are pretty short socks, so I think they're going to go by pretty quick. Also, marling helps make everything go by really fast. So other than the gauge thing, which is completely my fault, I'm really enjoying these socks. It's a broken rib cuff, and then right now I'm doing a slip stitch heel flap. And I love marling yarn, it's so pretty. Right now I think what is attached is Moonstone Dyeworks Old Fashioned Love, which is a self-striping colorway. And I think, what else? What is the other thing that's on here right now? My yarns are super tangled. So the other yarn that's on here right now is this one, which is Lorna's Laces Zombie Barbecue. I love how they're coming out. It's definitely making me want to do more socks where it's 2 fingering weight yarns with 2 different colorways all together. I really want to do this again when I'm done with these and maybe go up a needle size and see how that goes. Maybe just do a vanilla sock too. I don't know. Maybe I'll marl next time. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But I love them. They're wonderful. My next work in progress are Lucy's Monsters. So I am knitting 2 monsters from Rebecca Danger's book of knitted monsters. I'm knitting the Hugo the Couch Potato Monster. The first one is almost done. Well, it's pretty much done. So this is the first one. It is knit using Knit Picks. It was knit using Knit Picks bulky acrylic yarn in the avocado colorway. I don't remember what the yarn is called, but it's the bulky acrylic one. And then I ran out, so I used some leftover DK weight yarn from my scrap stash and held it double. It is Machete Shop in this gray. And I stuffed it, I closed it all up. Use a 3-needle bind-off for the top. I used what I'm pretty sure is a horizontal Kitchener stitch for this opening here. This is where you stuff it with your filling. And I think I'm gonna undo this part because I finished the other monster, which is also knit using Knit Picks. This one is Swish DK in the Sugar Plum colorway. And that's how much I have left of that. So I got through the whole smaller monster. So when you finish it, it looks like this. It's closed up at the top and you stuff it right here at the bottom. I ran out of stuffing. So what I have in here right now is all the stuffing that I had, and I didn't like how squishy it was. I really wanted it to be a little puffier, a little bigger and poofier. So I bought more stuffing, and now I have like a ton of stuffing. So now I want to go back and make the big monster a little bit denser. So I still have to do that. Baby Monster's arms are done. This is the baby monster, this is the daddy monster, and these are based off of the Amit Zappa kids book called Because I'm Your Dad. It's about 2 monsters who look like this. So all I have to do now is finish stuffing them, close this up. I'm gonna do horns because the monsters in the book have horns. The pattern doesn't call for horns, but I think I'm just gonna pick up some stitches on the top and knit like little cones. So I'm using this. This is some leftover Knit Picks bulky weight merino yarn that I have left over from the Christmas stockings that I made me and my husband and Lucy last Christmas. So I'm gonna use this for the horns. And after that, I just have to do the faces. And I'm still unsure of how I'm gonna do faces. It's probably going to be something super simple though. I think I've decided that I don't actually want to try to replicate the faces from the book, but I think I'm just going to do like little black embroidered eyes, like dots, and maybe that's it. I'm not sure. That's probably going to be what I'm going to end up doing because that's kind of my style. So these are so close to being done, and they've actually been sitting in this form for like a couple weeks now, and I just haven't touched them because I haven't really wanted to deal with it. But I think like a hot afternoon of work and they are going to be totally done, so I really want to get on it. Oh, and Lucy's birthday is next week, so I think that was my original plan, was to make these for her birthday, so that's a good idea. I should do that. I should get them done by next week. Goals. Birthday present. Okay. That's everything I've been working on. It's been hit and miss. It's been here and there with knitting and crocheting and stuff. It's just, I don't know, something I haven't really felt like doing lately. But I think that happens sometimes. especially when it starts getting warmer. For those of us who live in warm climates right now, I think, I don't know, it's not weird. I'm not worried about it. I am not worried about it. I go through knitting slumps sometimes, and when I do, I don't get like sad about it. I just embrace the other things that are holding my interest at the time. And there are other things holding my interest right now. So I'm totally cool with my current knitting situation. Let's move on to shop update, and then I have a little bit of favorites to talk about. And that'll be the day. That'll be the day. We'll call it a day. Then we'll call it a day. So I'm having a very small shop update right now. This stuff is up in the shop right now. I didn't want to make a big deal about it and like do like a whole planned update because I don't have that much to put in the shop. I had planned to have a much bigger shop update. I had a couple different self-striping colorways planned that I wanted to get done for tomorrow, but it didn't happen. I got a little bit injured. I hurt my tailbone, so I've been kind of out of commission for a lot of things the past few weeks, so dyeing is one of those things. So luckily, before that happened, I did dye a few things to put up in the shop, and that's what I have. So that's what I'm putting up. Luckily, I did dye up some Death of a Star, so that'll be going up in the shop. This is the colorway that Kim knit her sample Improbability socks in. So if you're interested in any of this, it's going to be up in the shop. Not as much as I was hoping was going to go up in the shop, but there is some. So go check that out if you're interested. The other yarn that I have going up in the shop is the yarn that I dyed for Lucy's blanket. So here it is. As I said before, it is yet unnamed, but it will have a name by the time you go check it out in the shop. And these are the two colorways that will be available now. And there's a link to my shop in the show notes below. It's moonstonedyeworks.com. And thank you for checking that out. If you are interested in checking it out, I appreciate it endlessly. Okay. Favorites. I have some stuff that I got, unless I lost it. So I bought a small haul from Serena Tejera. And she had a pretty big update with some newly designed stuff that I really, really liked. And the thing that I wanted the most was this. And this is a concha stitch marker. And conchas are a type of pan dulce, which is Mexican sweetbread, which is like my favorite thing in the entire world. So I got one of these, and you could get them in different colors, and I got the pink one because in real life, when I'm getting pan dulce, I'm gonna get the pink one. So I'm really excited about that. Also, she's got this really cool design of two hands holding knitting needles, and it says Yo tejo on the knuckles, like a tattoo, which means I knit in Spanish. And there's also stickers, which I really liked, but the stickers that I got, I'm not done. So I got some stickers, and these stickers are really, really cool. I love these designs because they're based off of the La Loteria game, which is a Mexican card game. It's like bingo. It's a bingo game. It's a Mexican bingo game, but there's like, the images on this game are very classic, and she's kind of reinventing them to be about crafting and stuff, and I think that's so cool. So I got El Gancho, which is the crochet hook, La Lana, which is the yarn, and this one came free, which is really cool. This is La Valiente Tejera. What does Valiente mean? The Valiant Knitter? Is that what it means? And so, yeah, I love these so much. I'm very excited about my new stuff. I will definitely link to her shop in the show notes if you're interested. There are some other designs that didn't get put up in the shop until later, until after I placed my order, and I really, really, really want some of those, so I don't know, we'll see. Okay, that's it for favorites. My other huge favorite right now is, I say that's it for favorites, and then I'm like, my other favorite is roller skating. If you're interested in hearing anything about that, you can check out that last video that I made. It's a roller skating vlog, and I got some roller skates, and I'm very excited about it. And I will you can watch that in the other video if you're interested. But it is a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. I also highly recommend being safe about it. Okay, I'm gonna leave you there. I hope you're having a really great day. I hope you are doing whatever it takes to make you happy right now, whether it's crafting or not. And if you're interested in checking out the Improbability socks, check out the show notes below and go show Kim some support because she is amazing. And if you're interested in my yarn, check out the shop. Thank you so much for being here. If you liked the video, please feel free to like and subscribe. And have fun and stay awesome.